Hello and welcome to something a little bit different today. I'm Kev and this is the first channel update I think I've done since my New Year's address, which is getting on for 3 months ago now. So it's been a little while, so I thought I'd better bring you all up to speed with what's been going on. As you'll know if you're fully up to speed with Non-League Legend, one of the other reasons I'm sneaking this in is because I'm away this weekend. Me and Anna have disappeared off to Lincoln for a weekend away from children and whatnot. And I haven't been able to get far enough ahead on Football Manager to be able to schedule Football Manager videos all weekend. So rather than leaving you with no videos for the weekend, this is a video that kind of needed to be made anyway. So I thought, what better time than Thursday night when I'm sat here making this? I've already packed my suitcase ready for Lincoln. I thought now is a good time to bring you up to speed with what's been going on the channel recently and where I see the channel over the coming months. So firstly, if you don't watch the vlog channel, then some of this is probably going to be quite new information to you. If you do watch the vlog channel, bear with me for like a minute while I just bring everyone else up to speed with what's going on, because if you don't watch the vlog, you might not know that about 3 or 4 weeks ago now, I handed in my notice for my job as a teacher, and I will be leaving at the end of August, and as of September the 1st this year, I will be doing this full-time-ish. Not just YouTube full-time, I'm also going to be continuing to write books, much like this one. It's not often that book gets a plug on this channel. It's called The Lazy Student's Revision Guide, if I didn't hold it up for long enough. It's great. But I'm going to be doing a little bit of writing. I'm going to be doing a lot of YouTube. There's going to be a few other bits going on as well. But the main thing for you lot, and the reason how it affects you, is that I'm suddenly going to have a lot more time available to me to produce content for this channel. I've spent a lot of time mulling over exactly what that means and have decided that it's not going to mean an extra Football Manager series. Over the last year and a bit since I've been doing this, I've had 2 series running every now and again. We had Everton running alongside this one for a little while. We had, at one point, I think we had Spurs and Non-League Legend running alongside each other last year, and maybe the Posh save was running alongside them as well. And usually what happens when I have 2 Football Manager saves running alongside each other, one of them gets all the views, and it's usually the one that has Legend in the title, and the other one, it's just the real diehards. And as much as I love the real diehards, I'd like to think that they're going to get enough of their Football Manager fill from the Football Manager videos. And putting it really bluntly, and if you don't like looking at YouTube from a business perspective, you might want to shut your ears for a minute or two. But putting it really bluntly, the size of the viewership, the market, if you will, for Football Manager content is quite a limited one. Even the really big players in Football Manager, hovering around 50,000 subscribers, a little bit more, a little bit less. That's not full-time YouTube money, no matter what anybody tells you, unless I don't understand how YouTube money works. So even if over the next year I became the most popular Football Manager YouTuber with the most subscribers and the most daily views, it's not going to be the kind of money that I need to be earning to continue on in my current lifestyle that I've got as a teacher. So that's not me giving up Football Manager. Before you all start panicking and sticking your thumbs down on there, Football Manager is going nowhere. That is always going to be a part of this channel. But it was never intended to be all the channel was for, despite the fact that it used to be called Lollujo FM. This time last year, I snuck a few videos of various little football games on there that I saw at egxrezzed, where I'm going to be next weekend. And I've tried FIFA before. I've obviously tried Total Extreme Wrestling, which will be back at some point. It probably won't be back anytime soon, though, mainly because it's as time-intensive as Football Manager is. It's very difficult to have 2 long-term, time-intensive saves on the go at the same time, because, especially at the moment, when I'm working full-time as a teacher, I'm trying to write a new book, it's very difficult to fit it all in. So that one's on the back burner for now. It will be back at some point. For now, just the focus on Football Manager with a view to like a long-running, long-term, time-consuming save. So that's not going to change. If you're here for Football Manager and only here for Football Manager, there will still be almost daily Football Manager content on the channel, like there has been for the last 15 months. But there's going to be some other stuff starting to appear on the channel too. And this is where it might be a little bit controversial and it might upset a few of you. I'm going to throw it out there right now. If you are going to get really upset that your sub box is going to have some non-football manager content appearing in it from me on a semi-regular basis from now on, if that's really going to upset you, unsubscribe, because that is going to be happening. I'm not going to bow to the thumbs down button and decide not to do that, because I think it's the right thing for me, it's the right thing for the channel, it's the right thing to grow the audience. And in an ideal world, we pick some games that draw new people into the channel and then can transition those people over into Football Manager as well, and hopefully grow the whole Football Manager thing at the same time. But don't misunderstand. I have been playing Football Manager pretty much every day for over 20 years. The reason I started the channel with Football Manager and the reason I've been able to keep it going relatively easily is because I'd be playing it every day anyway. I always have. Even when I've got other games on the go, there's always a Football Manager save. So it's not going to be going anywhere. I really enjoy making the videos. Football Manager's not going anywhere. Have I been clear enough? Have I been clear enough with that part yet? Good. If anyone's misunderstood that, I'm relying on those of you who did understand to let them know down in the comments. Definitely Football Manager, not going anywhere. But there is going to be some new stuff. I've registered with a few games press type websites. I've had a couple of review copies of games come through in the last couple of weeks. I've always had them on a sort of slow trickle through the podcast over the years. But I'm now going to make a conscious effort to try and get more games to play, more games to try on the channel. So I've got a shiny copy of Mass Effect Andromeda that EA were kind enough to send me earlier this week. That's sat there on my desk. In fact, it's not. It's sat there in the PS4 because Anna's stolen it and is playing on it at the moment. But there is going to be some Mass Effect content appearing on the channel once I can figure out how to record it efficiently, because obviously I've deliberately left the green screen effects off so you can see I am in my garage. I record in my garage. My TV, the PS4, they're not in the garage. So because they've sent me a PS4 copy, I'm going to have to do it in the house, which means this whole setup isn't going to be able to come in with me, probably, unless I can figure out a way to do it. So it might be that series doesn't have a camera on, or if it does have a camera, it'll be, I don't know, the lighting certainly won't be as good. This microphone is attached to my desk. It's on one of these big studio arm things. So that's not coming in the house either, because I can't bring the whole desk in there. So the sound quality might not be so great either. But it's going to be a learning process. I'll figure it out as I go along. There's going to be lots of little indie PC games appearing as well. I'm hoping that when I go to Res next week, I'm going to be able to collect a whole load of review copies of little indie titles, and they can appear on the channel over the coming months. I certainly did it last year and had lots to talk about on the podcast, but only a couple of them made it onto the channel, maybe even only one. But I'm going to increase that number this year, starting with a video tomorrow for a game called 64.0. I guess that's how you pronounce it. But that video, I'm going to record that in a couple of minutes, and that will come out tomorrow, just so that you've got content every day to get you through the weekend, and then we'll be back with Football Manager on Monday. So that's what's going to be happening. I didn't want it to appear as a massive surprise to anybody. I certainly didn't want to panic anybody who perhaps isn't fully up to speed with Non-League to Legend, but sees their sub box and sees that there's been no Football Manager content for a couple of days. But hang on, what are these other games? What's Kev up to? What's happening? Don't panic. The Football Manager daily stuff, it's here to stay. I'm just going to supplement it a bit. So Mass Effect, I don't know how we're going to do that. Maybe, I guess the sensible thing to do is at some point just sit and play it for 3 or 4 hours, record the whole thing, chop it up into chunks and see what happens. Let me know down in the comments how you would like me to present Mass Effect content to you. Do you want a Let's Play? Do you just want me to record some footage and then put a review together? I could do a review. Do you want single player, multiplayer? Please say, in fact, don't even answer that because it's going to be single player. I hate multiplayer gaming. But let me know your thoughts on how I can put together a Mass Effect series. Does it matter if the camera's involved or not? These are all things that I'm pondering over at the moment, trying to work out how best to present it. And please check out the video tomorrow as well. Let me know what you think of that kind of content, because as with the Football Manager stuff, if you go back and look at the very first Football Manager videos on this channel, they are awful. I'm never going to take them down because I like the fact that you can see how we went from awful to all right at it. And I imagine the early content for these other games isn't going to be the best content you've ever seen, but I'd like to think I'm a fast learner. I definitely take your feedback on board. So hopefully with a little bit of help and a little bit of back and forth and some involvement and maybe some suggestions for the games I could do and how I could present the games that we choose, then working together as a collective, hopefully we can help move that part of the channel into a new direction that helps that side of it grow without adversely affecting the Football Manager stuff. What I can't do is get stuck into another game like Total Extreme Wrestling that is all-consuming, massive time suck kind of game, because I don't have time for another one of those alongside Football Manager, because that is kind of one of those. So I think that's it. Oh, the other thing, I'm going to do a proper video from Rezzed next weekend as well. There'll be the normal vlog over on the vlog channel, but in addition to that, there'll be a more gaming-focused video that's going to appear on this channel. So if there is anything you want me to specifically go and check out when I'm at Rezzed, I'm there on the Saturday next weekend. Have a look on the website, have a look at the programme of events and games that's going to be there. If there's something you particularly would like to see and you can't make it along to the event yourself, let me know down in the comments of this video and I will do my very best to check out the things you are most interested in. So when I put that video out on this channel next weekend or early the week after, depending on how quickly I can edit it together, then it will be exactly the sort of thing you're looking for. So hopefully you all understand the reasons behind some of the changes that are going to be happening. I hope you're all on board with them. I think long term is going to be a change for the better of the channel, because, and I don't want to sound like a cynical money grabbing monster when I say this, but YouTube, my relationship with YouTube, not with you lot, but my relationship with YouTube is going to have to change a little bit over the next year or so, because it's gone from being this really super fun hobby to a significant chunk of my income is going to be coming from YouTube and related stuff like the Patreon, merchandise, that kind of thing. That whole portfolio of income is going to be a significant part of feeding my family, feeding my kids, keeping a roof over our heads, paying the broadband bill so that I can carry on uploading content onto YouTube at all. So as nice as it would be to just happily plod along, popping out Football Manager videos and being happy with 3,000-4,000 views a day, that is fantastic for a channel that's only 15 months old, but it's not enough to pay the bills for the rest of my life. So in addition to that, keeping that side the way it is and hopefully continuing to grow that as we go along, there needs to be another side to how we do things that is a little bit more commercial, a little bit more searchable, has a wider interest, more likely to draw people in. So that's the theory behind trying a few other things. This has gone, it's not yet gone, but it is transitioning from being a hobby into being a business, into being my livelihood. So sometimes I'm going to have to make some tough decisions. This one isn't a tough decision. This is a fairly easy decision for me to make. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time. I want to get other gaming content onto the channel. Now feels like the right time to do it. So Total Extreme Wrestling went down really well. I'm hoping the next few games that appear on the channel go down really well as well. So I want this to be a collaborative idea sharing adventure. So let me know down in the comments, what games would you like to see? How would you like me to see me present them? Do you want Let's Plays? Do you want reviews? Do you want bloopers? I don't know. You tell me. And between the lot of us, we'll have a big old brainstorm over the next few months. I'll throw a few things out there. You'll let me know if you like them or not. And eventually we'll get to the point where there's consistent content every day, in addition to Football Manager, that is right up your street and that you're going to enjoy, because that's ultimately what I'm trying to achieve. So hopefully we're all happy with that. If you are happy, stick a thumbs up on there. If you're desperately unhappy, feel free to put a thumbs down. It all boosts the videos in the same way. So, interact with it somehow. It's fine. Subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more of that kind of content or more of the Football Manager stuff. And thank you very much for watching.